Top 20 best single-player games coming out in 2025. Games for all console. This is a great year for video games, and you'll see it. Hope you like it. Don't forget to subscribe and like the video. Thank you so much, and let's go.
The Ming Dynasty is dead. Although I swore to protect it, my mission is fulfilled. I will not rest until all traitors are silenced and our stolen kingdom returned.
Wuchang Fallen Feathers is a new Chinese action RPG game set in the Souls-like style. The studio developing the game is the studio Linzi, and it's coming out in 2025 to PlayStation 5, Xbox Series XS, and Windows. And the game is also coming day one to Xbox Game Pass. The story is set in the land of Shu during the dark and tumultuous late Ming Dynasty, plagued with warring factions and a mysterious illness spawning monstrous creatures. The game got nice graphics and a gameplay that looks really good, especially for the fans of Souls-like games. Doom: The Dark Ages is the next adventure of this beloved FPS series. The game is being developed by the studio ID Software and is coming out in May 13, 2025 to PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X and S, and Windows. The game will be a prequel, set before of Doom 2016, but here Doomslayer will be as brutal as never before, with new melee weapons and firearms. The enemies looks really good, and the players will also have the possibility to control a flying dragon and a huge mecha robot. What looks extremely brutal, so if you like the last games of the series, this is a great game for you. Little Nightmares 3 is the third adventure, or nightmare, of the series. The game is now being developed by another studio, Supermassive Games, the studio of Until Dawn, The Quarry, and some more games. Little Nightmares 3 is coming out in 2025, but with no official date yet, but will be available on Xbox One, Xbox Series X and S, PlayStation 4 and 5, Switch, and Windows. The adventure now will be set in a co-op experience. But no, you don't need anyone else to play with you. In the case you're going to play alone, an AI is going to help you in the adventure. But surely with a real person will be more fun.
The continent of Pywell. A land soaked in blood. by the battles of those who seek peace, begins the saga of the Grey Means.
There are beings who brought chaos to Providence. We seek to correct this.
I had my own mission. Seeking out...
Crimsom Desert is an insane, upcoming open-world RPG. The game is being developed by the studio Pearl Abyss, and it's coming out still in 2025, but with no specific date yet. But it's coming out to Xbox Series X and Series S, PlayStation 5, and PC. This is one of those games that are even hard to believe that they're really good as they look. The graphics are insane. The world seems huge and massive, and is a game with a lot of features like glide, parkour, a nice combat style, dragon ride, and much more. And if it's as good as it looks, it'll be one of the best games of this year.
What I can tell you now is that this mission will restore the disrupted Providence.
For those who have died, for those who have survived, and for... This is our mission.
People come north to disappear. But you... And now...
Ghost of Yotei is the next game of the studio Sucker Punch Productions, the studio responsible for Ghost of Tsushima. And the new game is going to be the sequel, set over 300 years after the first game, and obviously, all the characters will be different, so I'm curious to see the game. It's coming out in some moment of 2025, with no release date yet, but this year, and will be a PlayStation 5 exclusive, but in some moment will be released on Windows 2, I'm sure. The first game was an extremely fun action-adventure game, with some RPG mechanics, and this one will be set in the same style.
Still think you're the hunter?
Borderlands 4 is the next adventure of the beloved universe of Borderlands. The game is being developed by the studio Gearbox Software. This will be released on Xbox Series X, Xbox Series S, PlayStation 5, and Microsoft Windows. The game got a release date already. That is September 23rd, 2025. You probably know the series already, but if you don't, it's a looter-shooter series set in a first-person camera with a unique and charismatic graphic style, and it's always been a success since the first game of the series. Metroid Prime 4 Beyond is the new episode of this beloved series. Originally, Metroid is a Metroidvania game, but the Prime series is actually a FPS. The last Prime game was released a long time ago, and the hype is real for the new game. The gameplay looks really good, fluid and fast, and the graphics looks nice, and I believe it's going to be even better on Nintendo Switch too. The game is being developed by the studio Retro Studios, Nintendo, and is coming out in some moment of this year, 2025, to Nintendo Switch, and surely Nintendo Switch 2 when it's released. The First Berserker Khazan is an action RPG set in the Souls-like style. The game is being developed by the studio Neepal and is coming out in March 27, 2025 to Xbox Series X and S, PlayStation 5, and Windows. The game will be fast and fluid, set in a dangerous magical world. And as any other Souls-like game, it's going to be hard, really challenging, with a lot of different enemies and bosses. The graphic style is very stylish in my opinion, a good mix of realism and cartoon, giving the game a charismatic visual style, and if you're a fan of this kind of game, it looks really good.
Listen up, Jack. Your mission is to infiltrate Selino Yask in the Soviet mountains, ensure the safety of Sokolov, and bring him back to the West. Your codename for this mission will be Naked Snake. I'll be referring to you as Snake from now on. You must not be seen by the enemy. You must leave no trace of your presence. Is that clear? This kind of infiltration is the Fox unit's equipment to procure on site. That goes for food as well. You're completely naked, just as your name implies.
Metal Gear Solid Delta is the remake of one of the most beloved games of the master Kojima, Metal Gear 3, and it's being developed by Konami. Just hope they do a great job here. It's coming out to Xbox Series X and S, PlayStation 5, and Windows in August 26, 2025. Metal Gear is a stealth game, set in an extremely unique universe. The things are not what they seem, and the plot of the game is absolutely incredible, especially to its time. The remake will seemingly respect the original game, but bringing a new gameplay style, but keeping the core of the game, that's the stealth.
A real one-man army. Speak. Commencing virtuous mission.
Pokemon Legends EA is a new adventure in the beloved universe of Pokemon. We've not seen so much about the game yet, but we know that's going to be one of the biggest or the biggest game of the series. It's being developed by the studio Game Freak, Nintendo, and it's coming out in 2025 to Nintendo Switch and Nintendo Switch 2 when it's released. If you know Pokemon, you know what to expect. It's a fun JRPG with unique features, and the most fun thing is always finding and collecting all Pokemons, evolve them, and learn all the mechanics of the game.
Be great!
You bet.
I hope we find them soon.
Look!
Incredible! I've never heard of a Karatnoth herd this big before. One of them's got big spikes on its back.
Monster Hunter Wilds is the next huge adventure of this insane action RPG series. The game is being developed by Capcom and is going to be released in February 28th, 2025 to PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X and S, and Windows. This is one of the biggest series from Capcom, and the hype about this game is huge, and the time to finally play it is getting closer. If you've never played, it's an action RPG game with a lot of possibilities and features, but the main one is to hunt huge monsters, as the name says, and is really fun to play with friends in the co-op mode. You gotta try it.
You can't do this alone!
We need to shake them off! Follow me! Yeah! Here it comes! I will draw its iron! Cover me!
You got it. Be careful.
Be ready!
Several years ago, the Dark Dragon, youngest of the divine dragon gods, wreaked havoc across the world of the cursed reign.
Ninja Gaiden 4 is the returning of the classic hack-and-slash series. After a long time without a new game, a new one is finally announced. It's being developed by the studio's Platinum Games, Team Ninja, and Koei Tecmo Games, and is planned to be released still in 2025 to PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X and Series S, and Microsoft Windows. Ninja Gaiden is a legendary hack-and-slash series. The game mixes a little of exploration and an insane combat style with different weapons and characters. The new game will be set in the same style, but with new characters and with new generation graphics.
So you've come, Raven.
Lucia, do you know why you're here?
Bad luck, I guess.
GTA 6 is the new adventure of one of the biggest video game series ever. The game will once again be set in Vice City, a famous city of the series, but now it'll be set in modern days, even with a whole new part. I'd even say that Vice City we know will be just a small part of the whole game's map. Just like GTA 5, here we'll play with more than one protagonist. Now, it'll be Jason and Lucia, and it promises to be one of the greatest games ever. The game is being developed by Rockstar Games, and it's coming out in 2025. Unless they postpone it, let's hope not, and it'll be launched on Xbox Series XS and PlayStation 5.
Well, look who's back.
The only way we're gonna get through this is by sticking together, being a team. Trust?
Trust.
Who are you? Who do you serve?
All I have ever known in my life. Our land. My family. Burns in the name of unification.
Assassin's Creed Shadows is the next adventure in the world of Assassin's Creed. The game, as always, is being developed by Ubisoft and is coming out to PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X and Series S, and Microsoft Windows in March 20th, 2025. The game, for the first time in a big Assassin's Creed game, will be set in Japan. You'll be able to play with two different characters, Neo and Yasuke, each one of them with their own style and mechanics. This will be an RPG Assassin's Creed, like Valhalla, Odyssey, and some others, set in a huge map with a lot of things to do.
You are still a frog in a well. Greed. Power.
From the studio that brought you Star Wars, Knights of the Old Republic, Part 2. Part 2. And Fallout 3, Part 2. Comes a completely original Part 2. And like all good sequels, we've...
The Outer Worlds 2 is the sequel to the first game, what's obvious. And it's being developed by the studio Obsidian Entertainment that just released Avowed, but the game is coming out still in 2025, it seems, to Xbox Series X and S, PlayStation 5, and Windows. The game is an open-world action RPG set in an FPS style. The first game is really fun. It's not a masterpiece, but it's fun. But they promise that now it's going to be even greater in all aspects, so I'm really curious to see how it's really going to be. But for now, we need to wait, because there's no release date yet.
More action. More weapons. And more. Welcome back to the future. Try not to break it again.
I'm not interested in hiring any more idiots. I'm looking for people of tact and vision and perspicacity.
The Outer Worlds 2.
Come on, I'll help you get your bearings. This is the ship's armory. Here you can check your weapons and put them through their paces. These rooms over here belong to other members of the crew. They're pretty much the same as yours. And the shower's down at the end.
Death Stranding 2 is the sequel of the acclaimed original game. Again, it's being developed by Kojima Productions, and it's planned to be released in 2025 to PlayStation 5. In the future, it's probably coming out to Windows and maybe Xbox. Death Stranding is a unique and original game. The gameplay mixes walking simulator with building features, combat, and an insane story and storytelling. And the sequel will continue the story of Sam, the protagonist of the game. And now the players will continue to explore and connect the people, but also see the aftermath of the first game.
A.G. Magellan's here to back you up. As always, you'll be the one leading the way to expand the network. That's right. These days I'm fragile in name only. You brought America together, helped it be reborn as the UCA. But I'm afraid that Death Stranding is far from over. Humanity is still in danger, still on the brink of extinction. Don't act like you don't see it. A lot of things changed after you went off on your own, especially within the UCA.
All of the men in this room are bound by blood. This is a family. And in this family is the betrayal. Do you wish to commit yourself, your life, to this family?
Mafia The Old Country is the fourth game of an acclaimed and beloved series. I mean, the third game is not that beloved, but there are some fans of it too. The game is being developed by the studio Hangar 13, the studio responsible for Mafia 3. As I said, it's not the most beloved game, but they also did Mafia 1 Remake. That's an excellent game, and now it'll be their new chance of creating a good story. The game will be released in 2025 to PlayStation 5, Xbox Series XS, and Windows. The game will be set before the other games, in the start of 20th century, and promises to be a game with a great storytelling like the first two games.
To become a man of honor, repeat these words.
My flesh must burn like this saint. If I do not keep my oath.
Welcome, Enzo.
Because I was going to make a sandwich. Let's do it. What do I think about Hero? Their disproportionately high cheekbones and comically massive weapons.
Wanker.
Roughing up bandits, because they like to rough up bandits, don't they? So the true hero's me, someone who's breaking new ground with fruit, with veg, on the agricultural side of things.
Just look at them.
Not wafting around.
Fable is the returning of a great Xbox RPG series. The game is being developed by the studio Playground Games, the same studio of Forza Horizon. So it's a different style of game of what they usually do, but it looks fun. Let's just hope it is. It's planned to be released in 2025, but with no release date yet, and it's coming out to Xbox Series XS and Windows, but I wouldn't say that a PlayStation 5 version is impossible. But it'll be available day one on Xbox Game Pass. For the fans of the series, this one will be set in the same style, a kind of open world game, with a lot of choices and possibilities of gameplay and story.
Chances and the occasional giant toad for some reason. But it's more than that. It's about the choices you make. Really stays with you. I knew this one hero. I took her in when she had no...
Emergency at Windscale Atom Plant. Now the worst seems to be over. Firing target.
Atomfall is a survival FPS game, set in a post-apocalyptic universe. The game is being developed by the studio Rebellion Developments, the same studio of Sniper Elite, and the game is coming out in March 27, 2025 to PlayStation 4 and 5, Xbox One, Xbox Series X and S, and Windows. The game looks really fun, especially for the ones that love single-player games about survival. The first time I saw it, I must say that it got my attention, but to be honest, I'm not a big fan of the studio, but I'll keep an open mind about this one. It looks nice in the trailer, and it's coming out day one on Xbox Game Pass.
where monsters invade our world. A powerful being falls from the sky. The dream ends. Is this really just a dream? My only hope lies within.
Come, Kaiser. We will travel across worlds, leap through dimensions, together.
Lost Soul Aside is a hack-and-slash game developed by a Chinese studio. The studio is Ultai Zero Games, and the game is going to be released in May 30th, 2025. It's kind of close, and it'll be available on PlayStation 5 and Windows. Embark on an epic odyssey to save your younger sister and the whole of humanity from mysterious dimensional invaders from beyond the starlit skies. The gameplay is fast, fluid, and impressive. The game is inspired in the gameplay of Final Fantasy 15 and Devil May Cry, and it looks really good, with nice visual effects and insane fights.
I see great... Let me be your vengeance. The blade in your hand. Never wanted to be a...
That's it, guys. 20 great single-player games coming out this year. And in my opinion, this is one of the best years ever of video games. So much games announced, and still games that wasn't announced that will also release this year. I'm really curious to try all that I can. Hope you enjoyed. Subscribe for more content, and I see you in the next video.